Hey everyone, this is my post full moon energy check-in. I had no idea what I was creating when I started laying out this spread. I started with the diagonals, and when I decided to do one side divine masculine, one side divine feminine, I decided to do the energy of the connection in the middle, but I really didn't know where this was going. I was trying to figure it out at the end, and then finally it came together and I realized I think it's a butterfly or maybe a moth. What do you guys think? Which do you resonate with more? Look that up for like any potential spiritual meanings if it resonates with you. I definitely 100% believe that this is representative of the metamorphosis that's in the process of happening. I'm going to use one of my favorite analogies, which some of you have probably heard me say a million times. But you're in the goo phase. You know, the twin flame journey is a massive spiritual transformation, and as caterpillars you go into the cocoon and you are literally turned to goo while spirit reformulates your thought patterns and way of thinking and feeling and everything. And that's what's happening right now. Spirit is I can't even think of the right word. There's a couple on my mind, but I'm not sure what the best one is. But basically spirit is just like massively transforming you, and then you're going to go through the spiritual birth canal and you're going to come out a beautiful butterfly ready for union. So I definitely feel spirit showing that here and representing that here with the butterfly shape, and you know, absorb those downloads that come along with it. So this reading to me feels very third, fourth wave. Now, you know, that doesn't mean you have to rule yourself out, because the waves are subjective and everybody varies just based on your individual journeys. So this, for anyone who is more first or second wave, this should be a little bit in your rear view mirror. And for anybody who's more fifth, sixth wave, this is like what's to come, what will maybe kind of like the next stage you're going to go into, or one of them. Fifth, sixth wave are more along the lines of having recently met in the past year or two. Third, fourth wave is a few years into it, but they're in the middle. What was I just gonna say? All right, I partially remember. On the top of my Instagram page, I have pinned on the right, in the top 3 spots on the right side, channeled messages from Spirit, from Jesus and Mary Magdalene, with messages for the collective, direct messages. But included in that is the breakdown of the waves that was given to me by Jesus last year. There's 7 waves. 7th wave hasn't even started meeting yet. And he gave me the date time frames of when they met, approximately. I mean, it's not 100% set in stone, I can tell you that, okay? And I say that because I know that there are first wavers who even met before their time frame. But, you know, it's probably like 99.9% or something like that. I'd have to ask Jesus to know exactly, but around that is what I would guess, since he gave me the dates. And it also has the dates that you should be in union by, and those are like no later than dates. But you have to take it 2 different ways. Like, it doesn't have to take that long depending on how your journey goes. Everyone's journey is unique, and especially when there's spiritual warfare involved, that changes things, because doing massive spiritual work can help move things along. On the flip side, you also have to treat it with a grain of salt and understand that timeframes can always change. They are absolutely never set in stone. They are adjusted by spirit and your higher selves when and as needed. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, so this group, I did divine masculines on this side, divine feminines on this side, and energy of the connection down the middle. I actually used all 3 of my tarot decks. I used a different tarot deck for each category, and they are, I just have to say, they are very much mirroring each other. There are some cards that are the same, or they're almost the same. So these groups of twins, they are, I mean, when they say twins mirror each other, these twins are mirroring each other. They are going through very, very similar experiences. They're working on very similar things in their lives right now. And it's all in the lead up and build up to be able to move forward towards union. But right now, that's not the focus. Right now, the focus is on their individual lives. Okay. So let's get into this, get a little bit deeper. The masculines are focused on money. They're focused on building up their material world because they have some fears and struggles with money that they're trying to deal with. They're trying to improve on, and they might be going through dark nights of the soul as well that may or may not pertain to money, but it's probably a good bet that it pertains to root chakra issues because the divine masculines are very much rooted in the 3D. You know, the masculines are much more likely to be focused on 3D issues and root chakra issues. They also tend to need to be healing heart and sacral chakra wounds. But aside from those necessary wounds for healing, let me explain this a little bit better. They usually subconsciously need heart and sacral chakra healing because of abandonment wounds, attachment disorder, self-worth wounds, that type of thing. But they're not that aware of it. It's something that spirit brings them through unknowingly. What they're focused on consciously is on their root chakra issues, and that's building up their material world, getting past financial difficulties, working through dark nights of the soul, which is long periods of depression. Dark nights of the soul are not short. They're not one night. They're not 1 week. Dark nights of the soul are weeks or months of going through a really rough period, even years of being depressed, dealing with very difficult situations, trying to fix things that have gone wrong, or dealing with addictions, dealing with codependency, like all sorts of stuff like that. So those are very different from triggers or purges. Triggers or purges are those temporary 1 night, 2 nights, a week tops things that come up for healing. So just keep that in mind too. But anyway, they're focused on their material worlds, and the Knight of Pentacles reflects that as well. You know, the Five of Pentacles tells us that they are struggling. The Knight of Pentacles tells us that they are focused on putting one foot in front of the other day after day, you know, working on their career paths, working on building up their bank accounts and their stability, so that they are ready and prepared for their future paths. They do know, they feel the connection with their twin flames. They do know that there's significance there. Some may realize it more than others. They have their twin flames in their mind, but their focus right now is on building up their individual lives because they don't feel ready for their twin flames yet. They feel like they need to work on themselves first. Okay, by the way, with these spirit animals, if any resonate with you, jot it down, look it up for yourself, okay? Because I'm not going to be going through the animals separately. So these masculines, again, they're either looking for opportunities to seize and take their lives forward in successful ways. Like, again, we're talking about career paths. We're talking about that root chakra stuff of building up their success in the 3D so that they feel accomplished and they feel proud of themselves and they feel ready. And so some of them are looking for the opportunities. Some of them have found the opportunities and are in the process of seizing them, okay? With the Three of Pentacles, they're following their dreams, they're following their goals, and they're having success, okay? They're getting recognition and success, or they will be, one or the other. They're having it now, or it's coming up. Like, it just depends. Like I said, you got to go back to your own individual situation. Can be a little bit different and varied. So just keep that in mind. But it's coming. Right now, they're focusing as well, like internally, they're focusing on balancing their lives, balancing their emotions, balancing the mental, emotional, physical worlds. And spirit is helping them to feel and trust divine timing, connect with their intuitions. You could even say here that spirit is also helping with the divine feminines for that too, to stay balanced energetically, to maintain a stable energetic foundation for the connection while you guys trust in divine timing and leading everything forward how it needs to. I'm going to switch here. Like I had said, they're working through dark nights of the soul. So there's still fear that they're conquering, especially when it comes to heart chakra wounds. You know, it's so common for divine masculines to be dealing with either abandonment wounds or attachment disorders. Attachment disorders stem from similar to the abandonment wounds. It doesn't have to be outright abandonment, but it can be dysfunctional family relationships, and it doesn't have to be outright dysfunctional, but just not healthy, because even anxious avoidant attachment disorder is because a parent is not there like they should be all the time. And avoidant attachment disorder is closer to that abandonment, where the parent is like failing to be the parent that they should be. You know, they might not outright abandon the child, but they are not there emotionally, not providing basic needs, that type of thing. So there's some type of abandonment or neglect that happens there. Of course, I'm talking about when the divine masculines were children, and those wounds create long-lasting, significant effects on the rest of their lives, all of their behavior, and how they function in relationships. So these fears that they're conquering, like part of this is the root chakra stuff, you know, building up their material world so that they feel ready and stable for their divine feminines. And part of it is conquering those heart chakra wounds and sacral chakra wounds. Sacral chakra is allowing themselves to be vulnerable and open up, and allowing the feminine to like truly see them and see their hearts and souls, and allow themselves, opening themselves up to that unconditional love. Because when your own parent fails you, it is very scary to open yourself up in that way to anybody else. And this is not a conscious thought process for them. They automatically react with defense mechanisms and stuff that holds them back and prevents them from being able to trust and open up. And not only that, it causes them to run. This is reasons why they run, because of these defense mechanisms of protecting their heart, because they don't feel safe. And the reason that they don't feel safe is not because of you. It's because of those wounds. It's because of what happened in their childhood. So you don't take it personally. Understand that the twin flame journey process brings them through this healing to where they are able to open themselves up to you. They're able to allow themselves to receive that unconditional love. And it's a struggle, like even up until the last minute, that's something that they can still struggle with. It can be the difference of they consciously trust you, but they subconsciously don't fully, because it's not even a choice that they're making. It's their inner child wound that is affecting them in that way. And it may be something that can't fully be healed, or can't fully be healed. They might be able to overcome it mentally, but that is always going to be there. And so that might be a recurring theme in your relationships of you reassuring them and helping them to feel safe and secure with you, and that you're not going to run and abandon them. This is why it's so important for the divine feminines to show the masculines that understanding and that unconditional love, and not reject them or run from the connection every time they do something, honestly, minor or big. Because the fact of the matter is, you're twin flames. You cannot break the connection. You cannot run from the connection. You will always be pulled back together. And the point of this journey is about learning that unconditional love. So punishing them or making ultimatums or pressuring them or chastising them, poking their wounds, is only going to make it harder for them to heal and find their way back to you. Because for them, it comes down to that inner child that was failed by someone, and that is in need of that, honestly, is in need of that unconditional love. And as they feel that from you, and as they heal and recognize that they do deserve true love. And honestly, a lot of the time, the karmic situations, the karmic relationships are happening in order to show the divine masculines that, hey, you don't deserve to be treated like this. You don't deserve to live like this. Like, you do deserve better. And it can be that horrible and toxic in order to break through and open their eyes and get them to see that. And where's the divine feminine? Like right I don't know what the right phrase here is. It's there, but it's not there. But they're waiting for their divine masculines to realize this and, you know, come back through that door. And as soon as the divine masculines do, it's like a light bulb goes off, and they might still be healing those self-worth wounds that stem from all of that, but they become more able to open themselves up to the connection and the love and seizing the opportunity to really receive that. Okay, so these are the fears that they're working through. Okay, they feel like they need to be ready. They feel like they need to build up their material world and be prepared for this like real relationship that actually could last. And they also, and that's the reason why they do that too, is because they see the divine feminine as pure and perfect, and they have her on a pedestal, and they need to be perfect for them. They need to have their lives in order as much as possible to feel as ready and as perfect as possible to be able to rise and meet her. You know, they don't just run because they are afraid of getting hurt. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to behave in a way that's going to push you away and hurt you and upset you, honestly. But the reason why they're running is because their heart wounds tell them that they're unworthy, and so they are running before you can hurt them, and they're also running because they don't feel good enough for you because they have you on that pedestal, and they're pushing you away because they think you deserve better. It's twofold, and it's subconscious as well. Some of them may realize it to some extent, but not all of them. So they're working through all of those fears, okay, and they're working through any darkness, dark nights of the soul again, okay, depression, addictions, anxiety, any lower based energies, spiritual warfare, entity attachments, black magic. All of that really does happen. It really is real. 50% of twin flames experience it, and it is part of your soul contracts if you do, just so you are aware. I'm going to get into that more in a different video. But working through all of this stuff in order to go through immense amounts of growth and that spiritual transformation and that metamorphosis and rebirth that I was talking about, you have to go through the dark first. And you have to go through the depths of, honestly, let's just say it, right? Go through the depths of hell and come out the other side. And honestly, both sides do it in different ways. The masculines do it in facing those wounds head on. Spirit forces them to. And the feminines tend to do it in dealing with spiritual warfare or other aspects of dealing with the separations and runner phase. But it's all about the growth. It's all about the growth that is happening for them, that is helping them to get to the point where they are ready to make changes in their lives, are ready to come towards their feminines again, ready to exercise their will and their motivation and their ambition. And I'm not using the exact right words here, but I'm not thinking of the exact right words here. But using their will to drive themselves forward to their feminine so that they can then bring in justice to this connection, make things right, right the wrongs of the past from when they were wounded, and bring about union, okay? So it's all part of the process. Okay, so now we're going to go to the feminines. I'm actually going to move this so that I'm not covering part of the feminine cards while I'm going through them. The feminines have their own fears that they're working through. They really get stuck in separation period, worrying about what ifs, worrying about whether or not their twin flame will return, whether or not there's a future here. What do they do with themselves? Do they sit around and wait? Do they try to move on? What if they wait and the twin doesn't come back? What if they do spiritual work, dealing with spiritual warfare and stuff like that, and nothing changes and nothing happens with their twin, which that's divine feminines. It is part of your duty to heal and fix spiritual warfare. The divine masculines, if they are being affected by black magic or demonic entities or other types, generational curses, past life traumas, they are not capable of even being aware of it, let alone fixing it. So feminines, it is on you to deal with that stuff. It is part of your soul contract for when it comes to spiritual warfare, on the masculine side, it is bringing them through massive transformation and clearing of karma. And on the feminine side, it is bringing you through your spiritual awakening and opening up your spiritual gifts and turning you into a spiritual warrior, basically. And if you're going through spiritual warfare, it is probably because you are meant to be a spiritual warrior for the light through ascension, which we are in the middle of. But anyway, so that was also what ifs. That was part of the what ifs. Feminines tend to get into the energy of waiting on the next steps that they need to take in their lives, because they feel like they need to wait for their masculine before they can make these decisions. But time passes, and then they've been stuck sitting in the same position for a long time because they have been waiting for their divine masculine. So Spirit doesn't want you to do that. Spirit doesn't want you to sit around waiting. You're putting the energy of waiting into the connection and causing him to do the same thing. You have to live your life. You have to not worry about the what ifs. You have to have complete faith and trust that everything will work out and come together. You have to make the decisions that you need to make, live your life the way you need to live it, and trust that when you reunite, the logistics of your lives will work themselves out. You will figure it out, okay? It's not that big of a deal. I have feminines who flip out about marriages and buying homes and properties and kids and all this stuff. Listen to me, like, all of that is changeable, all of it. Marriages can result in divorces. And as far as that's concerned, twin flames are the ultimate soul contract and the ultimate, honestly, marriage contract, even like spiritually speaking. It doesn't matter if you legally get married or not. When it comes to spirit, your twin flame is your ultimate soul contract, and no one and nothing else overrides that. Any other marriage, legal or spiritual, cannot surpass your twin flame and is only meant to be temporary if you have a twin flame. It is there for the lessons, but it is temporary. And remember that when you set your partner free, married or not, you are releasing them for them to go down their own soul journeys and their own soul paths that they are meant to go down. Earth is a school for souls that is not intended to be, you shackle yourself to the same person for the rest of your life, unless it's your twin flame or your soulmate. And even with soulmates, if you have a twin flame overrides the soulmates. But anybody else, I mean, first of all, what's the likelihood that every single marriage is a soulmate? Anybody else, those relationships are temporary and meant for the lessons. They are not meant for forever. Of course, it does depend on each person and which lifetime they're in and which stage of the ascension process they're in. But generally speaking, the purpose of relationships is for the lessons and the soul growth. And when it's time for them to end, it's time for them to end. They are not necessarily meant to be forever. Okay, your twin flame is the only one that is, and the twin flames are for all eternity in every lifetime. But yeah, okay. So that was one thing. Houses can be sold. Children, you work out the co-parenting, and listen to me, like, you are not meant to sacrifice yourselves and teach your children to sacrifice themselves and be unhappy and in unhealthy relationships for the rest of their lives. Children will always have some type of wounds. There is nothing you can do to prevent them from having wounds. Like, it's just a fact of life. For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every choice you make as a parent, there's an opposite reaction in the child. And all of that is creating something that they will need therapy for or healing for it later on in their lives. All of it. They can handle breakups. They can handle families separating, because what's in the best interest for the kids is not to be in toxic home environments or even just simply unhappy ones. They don't have to be toxic. They can just be not what's right and not what's meant for you. Role model for your kids to follow down your soul path, to follow what is meant for you, what makes your heart and your soul happy, and show them to do the same and make the same choices for themselves. Show them to be in a happy, healthy, and loving relationship. All of that. Show them to not sacrifice themselves and sacrifice their own happiness. Okay. because you wouldn't want them to do the same thing. And you can make them very happy in separate homes as well, okay? Or in one home if the other parent is not capable of being a good parent. I can't think of the other examples off the top of my head, but you guys get what I mean, okay? So don't focus on the what ifs. You cannot break the connection. You will always be pulled back together. It is your soul path. You are meant to follow it. Your souls will not let up on you until you do. The times that I tried to break my soul connection and move on, I felt like I was hyperventilating. I felt like the couch was swallowing me up, and I just wanted to die. And literally the second, I told myself, you don't have to move on. You don't have to let go. I was instantly okay. Instantly. Like flipping a switch. Because that was my soul telling me, you are not supposed to move on from this. And once I accepted that, and I started going through the rest of my awakening process, and once I stopped fighting the connection. So release the resistance. Both sides will be pushed through the process of releasing that resistance so that you can follow down your soul path and your soul journey with this twin flame connection how you are meant to, okay? Don't fight it. Don't try to break the connection. Don't try to move on. Don't try and cut the cords. It's not even possible to cut the cords. I had a client who ordered a cord cutting from me. She didn't tell me why. She didn't tell me who. She ordered the cord cutting for all past connections. She did not tell me she was trying to break a connection with a twin flame. A few months later, she's like, it didn't work. And then she tells me some details, and I realized it was a twin flame. I'm like, you can't cut cords with a twin flame. You know that, right? So I can just tell you right now, don't even try. Release the resistance of fighting the connection and accept that you're on a soul growth journey and path that your soul chose before incarnating it. Your 3D, your human doesn't get a choice, sorry to tell you. Because your soul agreed to this path before incarnating. And to be honest, and give you a little bit of background real quick. Guess what? If you're a twin flame, your soul already went through an ascension cycle. You've already ascended and graduated. Your soul chose to split and become twin flames and chose to go through this process, chose to be of service to humanity in doing so, and your soul will not allow you to move on. Period. End of discussion. Try your hardest. It doesn't matter. And if you force yourself to move on, you will never be able to turn off the thoughts. You will never be able to turn off the telepathy. You will always feel the connection and be tortured by it, to be honest, if you're trying to break it. But yeah, release the resistance. Accept that your soul chose this path. You know, your soul is just wearing your human costume for this lifetime, going through the soul growth process, and this is the path your soul chose, and your 3D human does not get a choice in the matter. I'm sorry to tell you. And you can fight it as much as you want because you don't want to listen and you want to rebel. But it's not me. I'm just the messenger. It's your own soul. Okay? So, feminines. As I said, you have these fears that you're working through. Spirit is encouraging you. Sorry, the glare is driving me crazy. Spirit is encouraging you to not give up. As I was just saying, don't give up. Stand your ground as far as following down your soul path and following down your journey of what is right for you. The people around you are not going to understand. Your family and your friends and anybody who is not a twin flame and anybody who is brainwashed by society conditioning of this is the way things have to be and you don't do this and you don't do that, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to understand. It doesn't matter. Your soul isn't giving you a choice. That part of this process, I should say, is stripping away all of that conditioning and making you see and realize that there is a bigger picture here and there is a bigger soul path, and it doesn't matter what the 3D secular world has taught you. That's all brainwashing by honestly, like the dark side that doesn't want you to ascend and doesn't want you to follow down your soul path and spiritual paths. And yeah, I'm not going to go further down. That's a whole nother topic. But anyway, it's all stripping away all of that conditioning and understanding that regardless of how much you are at odds with the rest of the world. You can't give up. You have to continue to push through, persevere, and step into your power of following down your path, creating the life that you were meant to lead, and conquering your own karmic situations and stuff that are teaching you lessons as well. Know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. These difficult times are going to come to an end. Things are going to get better. The separation is going to end. If you have any codependency wounds or addictions or anything that you need to heal, you need to work on that. Know that Spirit is bringing your twin through the process of doing the same thing, but things will get better, okay? You need to focus on manifesting and creating the life of your dreams. This is the Queen. I know it says healer in this deck, but this is the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Earth or Queen of Abundance. Be that Queen. Step into your divine, feminine, Empress, Goddess energy to take control of your life and follow your dreams and create the life that you desire. Like I was saying, don't wait for your twin to do that. Start doing that now, and know and trust that when it's time for you to come together, Spirit will align everything to work out exactly how it needs to. Okay, but you have to trust Spirit's timing on that. You have to know, you have to be patient, and you have to understand that your twin has things that he needs to go through in the meantime, and you have to hold space for him while he works through that process, and while Spirit brings him through the necessary lessons in healing. And you have to have patience with yourself as well. So a lot of times divine feminines cannot see what it is that they need to work on themselves, and they might even think that they're completely healed when they're not. When you are having purges and triggers happen to you, when you can't stop crying or get into low energy, that is Spirit pulling and pushing you through the necessary healing that you need in order to be ready for union. And being ready for union means being in your own being in your own inner union, from a whole healed place where those wounds are healed, so you're not triggered anymore. You still might get triggered up until the last minute, but it will be less and less and less, okay? For the most part, it will be. It's like, so what I have experienced the last year or so in preparation for a union, first Spirit kind of squeezed every last hidden fear or wound out of me, and now I'm like totally fine. And it's been I can't remember the last time I had a trigger or a purge. So you have to be patient with yourself. Understand that you have your own side of the process to work through too, and you have to accept that this is not an instant gratification thing. Spirit is going to align everything when and how it is meant to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't force it to go faster. You can't push your twin along or pull him along. Like, there's minor things you can do by doing healing work or meditations and stuff like that. It will help the process by staying in a higher vibration and keeping yourself in good energy. It will help the process because it prevents delays. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Spirit is divinely aligning everything, and that's not something that you can control. You can help it along, but you can't control it, okay? And you have to accept that. Patience is one of the biggest lessons that Spirit gives the divine feminines. But you are also, through all of this process, you're also coming into immense wisdom. Like, Spirit is bringing you through this massive spiritual awakening. Like I mentioned earlier, the masculines go through the bigger healing process side, and the feminines go through the bigger spiritual awakening side, especially if you have spiritual warfare too. And it's twofold. Like, your spiritual gifts open up and grow and expand, your spiritual awareness and understanding of everything and how the world really works and spiritual matters, all of that grows and expands. But even more so now that we are in the times of ascension, and twin flames play such a significant role in ascension, which is something that you will learn more about. You will also just gain massive insight into ascension and just more topics than I can even think of right now. Like, I have a whole freaking list of things, not even just a list, paragraphs. I have paragraphs and line items and just like so much written down that I have channeled, that I have had direct conversations with spirit about spiritual matters, about the way the world really works, the way the universe really works, the way God really works. Just so much that my head is exploding in a good way. And it is all information that I will be sharing, because I know that this is not just about the twin flame journey. This is about ascension as well. And I know that spirit has guided me to be an ascension teacher. And you know, I'm working my way up to all of that stuff because I know that it's not quite time yet. I can feel that it's not quite time yet. But it's like spirit is preparing me for it. But just wait to all the massive amounts of awareness and information and wisdom that is going to come to you and flow through you, and you will become teachers as well, and you will start teaching the people around you, because twin flames are the forerunners. So you're going to go through all of this first, and you're going to start teaching the people around you who aren't even twin flames, but they are also still going through we're in the times of ascension, so they're going through it whether they are reaching enlightenment this lifetime or not. So let's move on to the next card. I know that was abrupt and whatever. You're manifesting your life, the life of your dreams, and opportunities are coming your way to start taking action in your life. Sorry, I was thinking back to the masculines. Looks, both the masculines and the feminines have the same card. This is the Page of Wands, or the Page of Action, or Page of Fire. I think that's trying to think of the name in the other deck. Yeah, Page. So this is the same card. So see, I told you that there's a lot of synchronicity and mirroring between both sides. So both of you are looking for and seizing opportunities to move your lives forward. Because like I said, you have to live your life too. So both of you are looking I can't talk. Both of you are looking for those opportunities to move your career forward, to move your divine life purpose forward. And there's two. You have a life purpose path that is career related, that is creativity and soul passion related, and you have a divine life purpose as well, that is your spiritual work, using your spiritual gifts, becoming healers. There's many avenues that can go down to. So both of you are looking for these opportunities and seizing them in order to build up your individual worlds and lives the way that they are meant to, so that you feel happy, whole, and ready for the next steps here as well. Remember what I said, Spirit wants you to be happy. Spirit wants you to have joy and happiness in your life, and that is part of your inner union as you prepare for outer union as well. Know that there's also going to be pleasure coming with union, but you have to be happy in yourself first, okay? If you're not happy in yourself first, you're not ready yet. Like I was saying, Spirit is teaching the feminines these massive lessons on faith and trust right now. And let me tell you, it really is literally blind faith. Like, some of you might know some stuff and might have some communication with your twin, but even when you have some communication, there are still reasons why, and things that will come up that cause you to have blind faith. And it's just, I can't think of examples right now, but it's incredible what Spirit brings you through. It's incredible the times that you might be worried or anxious about something. It doesn't even have to be about your twin flame journey. It can be about something else connected to it. It can be about, trusting to follow certain pathways and opportunities for yourself. Trusting that financially you'll be okay. It can be all of these different things that Spirit just magically brings it all together and shows you, just trust us. Just trust us to have you. We've got you. We're not going to let you fall. We're not going to let you fail. As long as you're following your soul path and showing Spirit that you trust Spirit, everything will come together and work out. You just have to have that blind faith and trust. that new beginning is coming. You are going to get that offer from your masculine to have that fresh start, to take the leap of faith and to initiate union. And things will move forward when that happens. They'll move forward quickly because once you guys are ready, you will know how you feel about each other. You'll be sure about all of this, and things will just take off all of a sudden. Like you'll be surprised by their sudden reappearance, and then all of a sudden it's going to be full steam ahead. So have that. What is it? Blind faith and trust in that. And now going to the energy of the connection. Right now, you guys are in the separation. You're in this break in the relationship because this is the time of taking care of yourselves, taking care of your lives, meditating more, connecting with spirit, going through your spiritual awakening processes, healing your physical bodies and healing those emotional wounds. And this pause right now is necessary for the growth and the wisdom that is happening for each of you as individuals. And spirit is processing it through each of you on your own independently. That's just the way it has to be. Okay? Right now, some of you might not be getting any effort. Excuse me. You might not be getting any effort or recognition or whatever from your twin, but the tables are going to turn. So you might be going through this period right now of where effort is minimal or not at all, but when they get there, when they're ready, it's going to completely flip-flop, and they're going to go show you much more effort than you have had in a long time, and they're going to make it up to you. Okay, this phase right now, this is the step before. This group is in the step before the closing out of the karmic cycles. This is the evaluation period, evaluating your lives, figuring out, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. Not just, with the connection, but in your individual paths. You're assessing your individual lives. Where am I? Where do I want to be? So that I will feel ready, so that I will feel accomplished and ready to step up and be the divine masculine, the divine feminine, be in union, and then taking the action to get there. This will also include what is necessary to close out karmic situations and karmic cycles and karmic relationships and all of that stuff. What steps need to be taken? What do I need to do? Getting organized, getting it together, and moving forward. So that is where this group is at, okay? With the Page of Earth, this is similar to that Page of Wands and Page of Fire that we had. But this is more about the getting communication about the opportunities. So getting the good news. Their Page of Action, they're looking for, or Page of Wands, I should say, looking for the opportunities, maybe seizing some of the opportunities, but this is getting the good news about them so that these plans can come to fruition and start moving forward. This could also be bringing in communication with each other, and it could also be initiating those beginning steps, and saying, how they feel and what they want, and starting to bring that into motion. But this does feel more to me like the real world root chakra stuff of, okay, like I said, figuring out where we want to go, what we want to do, what we need to do to get there, seeking it out, and then getting the good news and then having the success to move forward. With the Knight of Fire, which, even though this isn't the exact same card, the Knight and the Page of Fire and Wands, they're connected. You're seeing multiple cards here of that are consecutive cards that are meant to come before or after each other in the deck, and that's because you guys are going through similar things, working on similar things, and building up your momentum and building up your forward movement. So with this Knight of Fire, the good news is going to come, and then events are going to occur that are going to help push things forward, help propel things forward. With these events, it might force decisions to be made and force action to be taken because there's no time to wait. Something occurs, whether it's work related or karmic situation related, whatever it may be, that it happens, and then now you got to make a decision and you got to start taking steps. Spirit is going to push them through these things and bring about these events in order to help each twin start taking those steps. Okay, this could be even towers, but it doesn't have to be as severe as towers since it's not the tower card. Okay, and if you don't know what towers are, those are significant shakeups that force changes. Okay, so this is not quite that severe, but it's definitely things happening that push forward movement. Now, I do want to add here, even though it's not the traditional explanation for this card, I did channel in a recent reading about this also represents when you reignite, actually that's a great word for this. When you reunite, there will be a lot of passion and to expect fireworks. So basically, expect the connection to be reignited. And you know what? Spirit probably just did that on purpose. Spirit probably said that on purpose through me right now. So you guys are going to come back together, and this is going to be reignited like explosively, in explosively good ways. Just like that previous card I discussed earlier too, I believe it was the 10 of air. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to get better. Whether it's a long period of no contact or just struggling through the karmic situations, the karmic cycles, it's in the process of coming to an end. Trust it, believe in it, focus on the light at the end of the tunnel, and keep moving forward one step at a time. And you know what? This can also represent either going on a trip together or relocating together. So that is also shown here. The Divine Masculines are going to conquer all of this stuff they're working on, and they are going to step into their king power. They are going to be able to fully take control of their lives, reclaim their lives from karmic situations, and have the success, and in order to, similar to the Queen of Abundance that we saw, the Queen of Pentacles, to create the lives that they desire for themselves. They are going to be able to become leaders in their fields, have success professionally that gives them that strength and confidence as well, so that they feel like they're coming to you a man instead of a boy, and they feel ready to be a true divine masculine. So it's all going to come together. Feminines, expect the unexpected, and just wait. Just you wait. They're going to surprise you. They might even just show up on your doorstep one day like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. And it will be full steam ahead. And I love how we had that synchronicity here as well. When they show up, when they get into their king energy and they're fully ready and they just show up on your doorstep, initiating that sudden change, reigniting the connection, it's going to be full steam ahead. No more delays. You're not even going to be able to keep up with everything happening, okay? Because they will be bringing in that union. So trust it, believe in it, and understand what they're going through. Understand what you need to go through also, and why it's all necessary. Focus on your healing. Focus on your spiritual growth and awareness and your spiritual gifts. The best thing you can do for yourself is meditate regularly. Keep your energy balanced. When you purge, it's okay. The purges are necessary to release wounds. Feel it, let it out, and then rebalance yourself, okay? Ground yourself, cleanse yourself. Listen to Reiki or binaural beats or chakra cleansing videos. Get actual healing work. Keep your energy balanced, because then you're holding that stable foundation for him. And just take care of yourself and your life. Live your life, be happy, move forward, and trust them. Trust them and believe in them, and know that they are going to come back to you as soon as they work through everything that they have to work through. And Spirit is bringing them through that process, whether they realize it or not. Okay, most of them don't realize it, but Spirit is bringing them through that process. Sometimes, and it tends to be this way in the beginning, sometimes they are dragged through kicking and screaming while they're in resistance, but they figure it out and they find their way. Union is guaranteed for the 144,000 twin flames who reincarnated here for the purpose of assisting with ascension. It's guaranteed, because We are raising the vibration of the planet and humanity for ascension, which ascension started in 2012, and it started moving faster in 2020. And then another 144,000 twin rays are also preparing for the next ascension cycle and trying to build up to enlightenment and full ascension now. And they're also working through the twin flame process. They have a little bit more lessons and growth to get through. It can be a little bit harder. Union is not guaranteed for twin rays, but it is achievable. It just depends on the individuals involved, and that they persevere and that they do everything that Spirit asks of them. But anyway, you will get there. Union is in the cards, literally and figuratively, and Spirit is guiding you there. Trust your own souls, trust your path. Everything will be okay. Okay? I promise, from Spirit.